After enduring isolation, to begin doing podcasts in person is a wonderful experience. There is no doubt that working in a virtual environment is much better than I had ever expected. However, the electricity of an engaging discussion face to face with a person passionate about her work and interests, and from whom there is so much to learn, is an irreplaceable pleasure. Tanja jumps seamlessly back into her sensual talk repertoire, with more tales and experiences and plans and energies, and one wonders how she will drive her sessions forward, once released from the privations of the pandemic. Our chat meanders animatedly through the topics of Christmas, superstition, cultural diversity, lingerie, and even ice cream. It is in essence an entertaining reprisal of our podcasts, and presents us with a taste of what is to come in 2022. Thanks for listening. Tanja, this is amazing to have you here, actually, like within reach. Welcome to Berlin.
Thank you so much. Finally, we are sitting opposite of each other and together in one room.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
I can't believe it. I don't know if I'm going to even be able to focus on what we're saying.
But, because it's surreal to see each other while talking.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 6 years. So I think at least 6 years.
Yeah, it had been a long time.
My word.
Yeah.
But it's great to see you. And I mean, 6 years ago, these podcasts were not even a part of any kind of thought mechanism that I had at the time. But I mean, was SensualTalk even in your mind 6 years ago? Or the ideas behind it, were they in your mind 6 years ago?
No, the topics have been there already. Yeah, I've been interested in this kind of topics. Yeah, like
why though? Have I ever asked you even why? It was life experiences and so on. Yeah. But what sort of pushed you towards saying, I really want? I know that there are certain needs, shall we say, from elements of society.
Yeah.
I mean, there is perhaps some a gap.
Curiosity.
Somewhere. Yeah.
And then the fact that I've been traveling a lot, and I've been like immersed myself into different cultures, and then got also the chances to talk about these topics: femininity, masculinity, sexuality, even sexuality, sensuality, in different contexts, which just didn't make me want to stop talking and thinking about this, but heightened my curiosity. So I think I since my teenager times, I really like to talk about these topics, like not only living it, like having sex or being sensual, but also to talk about it, to exchange with friends, male friends, female friends. So.
I mean, we do have a list of topics to talk about, but I mean, as is always the case with us, we tend to run off on a certain tangent, and whether it's curiosity or just simply the moment. But thinking about it, I mean, whenever I speak about these kinds of things with perhaps students, if it comes up in conversation, the term sex, or anything in any way sexual, I would not bring up unless, for example, I was speaking with obviously adults, all of my students adults, but that there were not only women present, but also other men present, because then I would feel, for some reason, it sounds silly, protected in some way, that there wasn't some strange intention behind me bringing up the topic. And that also only with people who I had worked with for a long time. Now, so for you to be able to raise this project, it takes, I think, a lot of confidence, because it is in many ways very much a taboo thing. So this really stems from either a sincere need, as it were, from within you to talk about it, but also because you believe it's extremely important, but also confidence.
Yeah, maybe it's a mixture of all of this, and maybe it's also one missing part is that in my opinion, like I am witnessing the need from others to talk about it. And the thing which happens, like, I mean, for me, it's also not easy. Like, if I sit with somebody I don't know, it's like I also have to, like, swallow and then, like, okay, can I go for this terminology? Can I say sex? Can I say femininity? But my experience so far is when I do that, then it's like I'm opening a gate, and then the person opposite of me, with the person with whom I'm talking, is also opening up. A friend of mine, I met while I was studying in Hamburg. She once told me, like, if you want somebody to open up, you need to open up first, and that is something that really made me think, because I am rather protective person of like if it comes to my own stuff, uh, which maybe you wouldn't say so, like listening to the
Not
podcast,
now,
you
no.
know? But yeah, and that made me think and reflect and also act upon it. And it's true, it's true. Like sometimes I'm also only opening up the door a little bit, and then that's enough for the person opposite just to open the entire gate, because um, my belief is that people are really waiting for opportunities to exchange, to open up, to make themselves, or that we can make us being seen.
Mm.
Yeah. And there was another thing I wanted to say. Ah, yeah, about this talking to people you don't know. That is something you would not know what happened in December. Yeah, because in December, a very good friend of mine, she came up and said, "I have a friend and a male friend, and I talked to him. They met. They I don't know had a coffee, and then they were also, amongst others, talking about femininity, masculinity, and then she brought up the sensual talk. And this guy was really interested and positive towards that topic. And so she asked me if she could give my contact details, and that is what she did. And then, to cut a long story short, we met in a cafe in December. Uh, like two strangers, yeah, and I'm calling it actually my first sensual private with a man. I had sensual privates with ladies before, when Corona didn't allow us to meet in many people with many people. So, and we were sitting there, and we didn't know each other. And then he explained why he was interested in getting in touch and exchanging, and I explained who he is, and I explained who I am and why I'm doing the sensual talk. And then an hour and a half later, his partner came and was sitting also with us. So then I had like a couple sitting with me, or I was sitting with a couple, and we had an exchange. And they were like the talks were quite deep, without us knowing each other, sitting in a very public place like a coffee bar. And it was nice. It was really nice. It was, yes, it's intense, but it's not, but it's intense and it's nice and it's dynamic. And now both of them are actually also in the mailing list. So you're not the you've been the first, but you're not the only
Yeah,
mail.
yeah.
So now we have a second one.
Yeah, I carried that mantle for long enough. I think
Yeah,
it's fair to branch out now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's really interesting. I was going to lead up with then. Okay, are they going to continue these? Well, your interactions at least. But the next question was then, did they or do you consider the experience therapeutic? Was it like just an exchange of ideas, experiences, without going into detail, of
No,
course?
no, it wasn't therapeutic. It was really an exchange of our own experiences, like why I why I'm doing the sensual talk, and of course you have to reflect upon past experiences and also current ideas. And the two of them, they had ideas what they wanted to do, and he had also ideas, like for example to have something like that for men. You know, we were discussing like, okay, so far the sensual talk I'm organizing is only for ladies, due to the fact that I am a woman, so I do this for ladies. And of course, I'm also, I mean, I mentioned this also in the podcast several times. Like, I would love to have also uh, sensual talks for ladies, sensual talks for men. But if I, as a woman, am moderating a sensual talk for men, that's going to be a different dynamic than a man moderating a sensual talk for men. Same thing with mixed, like men, women, ladies, gentlemen, mixed gender sensual talk. That's also again another dynamic. And in my opinion, and that's also what we talked about, I think it's also a different dynamic if you have couples, you know, participating. So like I could also imagine to have sensual talk like for couples, you know, like that's gonna have a total different outcome. And feeling. So yeah, so we were like reflecting upon different things, and that was quite nice. It was, for me, it was nice to see, like to meet out of nothing more people who are also taken by this subject, by this by this topic. So that was nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, is there a chance, you think, for us to see like sensual talk in a more, not necessarily expansive way, but with divisions, as it were,
I'd love to.
subdivisions?
Yeah, I'd love to. We've been talking, for example, about having a sensual talk in Berlin or in my hometown, not only in Frankfurt or in Offenbach, but I have many ideas. So the point is that I have to give birth to them. But this Corona thing, you know, it's like it made it a bit difficult the last 1.5 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. I'm positive, and I mean, last year also things happened. I didn't plan for example, the opportunity at the Aufmacher Kulturnächte, when I had the chance to gave an interview with 3 other amazing ladies. So stuff like this, where you can get reach out to an audience who didn't hear about the sensual talk before.
Yeah. I'm really happy that you sent me the video, and a very unofficial video which your friend took on her phone. It's a shame the entire presentation or show wasn't recorded properly, because it seems like it was a very special moment.
It was, for me, it was amazing. I don't know, did you have the chance to see the movie Woman?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh yeah, you should, but because that was, the interview was before, and then they shown the movie Woman. So to everybody who's listening and who didn't see the movie, I really suggest to watch this movie. It was I think it's very well done.
Okay. All right.
And very realistic.
All right. This is definitely, I will put this in the podcast notes as well, and also put it on my own private list of movies to watch. Yeah. But I mean, what is definitely clear is the passion and vigor with which you communicate about these topics, which simply says to me, all of these things are going to happen. Yeah. And this is what I think is really cool, because anybody who speaks to you will see straight away these things are going to happen.
Yeah, it'll be great. And not only in Germany. I mean, there's an entire world out there. You know?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm doing a podcast in English, so I could also do a sensual talk in English. Maybe.
No, well, you've discussed almost everything there is to discuss, so why not?
Yeah. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, good. So we've just gone through the Christmas holidays.
Yes.
Yeah. How were they for you? Were they long enough? I mean, they never really are, but this year was particularly short, wasn't it?
Mm, well, for me, because I'm coming out of
Okay, it's 4 years, but yeah, that's it.
out of a tiny sabbatical.
Yeah.
So
Okay. All right. Yours was a bit longer than mine then.
yeah, so no, it was fine. It was
Okay.
fine. It was enough. I really learned to appreciate the time between Christmas and yeah, like what is
New
it?
Year's.
No, the like the last week of the old year and the first week of the new year. You know, like until the 6th of January.
Okay.
Heilige Drei Könige. How
Yeah.
would you say that in English? Is they don't.
Well, for this
We
Armenian, we
wouldn't,
call it the Armenian Christmas on the 6th
yeah,
of January.
it's
But
yeah,
yeah,
it's
okay.
Orthodox.
I think there's probably some relationship
Yeah,
with the Orthodox as
yeah,
well. But
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, for I like um yeah. So this season I really like because it how would you say
It calmed you
it
down.
calms me down, relaxes me. So it's like a breathe out, you know, it's like a long breathing out. So and it's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, that is kind of suggestive that 2021, even though you were sort of coming out of your sabbatical era, but that doesn't mean that it was not without its challenges for you. So therefore, this sort of so this breathing out process was.
Yeah. I mean, it was for sure also very special period because it was the first Christmas period after my father died. So that made it also different and special. Yeah, yeah.
How are
But
you coping?
good, I
Yeah.
think. Good so far. I'm planning to go to Italy again in a couple of weeks to continue the I don't know yeah, to continue to digest and reflect the whole situation. Yeah, and to take care of a few things and yeah. No, it was okay. Right, we spent Christmas together, my mom and my brother, and that was good. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Um, Yeah, Christmas is always a bit strange. I mean, in the sense that when I used to celebrate Christmas back at home when I was a kid, we had lots and lots of people come together, and we had ridiculous, like copious amounts of food. And once the sort of table was sort of opened, as it were, thereafter the entire day I'd spend eating. And I don't know where that food went, because if I try to do that now, the next day I wouldn't be able to stand up.
Yeah.
But obviously, as kids, you can just eat and eat and eat, and everything's fine, isn't it? But I remember so many times, some of my best Christmases would be like at night, sleeping on the floor in sleeping bags because nobody wanted to go home. You know, my dad and his friends and my uncles would play cards. The women would talk in wherever they talked, and us kids would whisper away the whole night. And that was really cool. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, since then, Christmas has changed, I guess. Is that because I've grown up, do you think? I don't know.
I don't know what changed in your opinion.
Yeah, maybe the realization that Santa isn't real. Yeah, I don't know. Also, I guess the demands, my expectations, that no longer. I guess I received more responsibilities. So as a kid, I never had to take part in anything. But then, as I got a bit older, my mum was like, "Yeah, you do this, you do that, you do that," and I had to do it. I don't know at what point these things change. And also, I think my family, so they sort of obviously grew up a bit, and they decided that, okay, we don't want to put so much effort into this and so much effort into that. And yeah, I guess everybody just grew up a bit more.
That's an interesting one because that's what happened to me as well. That this Christmas period lost its magic, let's say, and the glitter and the fluffiness and everything, you know. And but I took it back because I realized that okay, what I'm doing since a couple of years is actually that I keep one day to myself. So, and then I can celebrate Christmas the way I like it, with me, myself, and I, you know. And this is something. This is like to take the focus from the outer world. Like you have to rush there, you have to do this, you have to get this presents. What would we want to cook? Where to go? Whom to see? And organize. Like it's more. You need, sometimes I have the feeling you need more managerial skills for Christmas than when you are, I don't know, a CEO or so. Yeah, I mean,
Almost,
yeah.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just to make it my
Depends on
point.
depends on the company, I guess. But yeah, sure. Yeah.
So and I don't know when, but I started at a certain time. I started really to take time for myself. And for example, this year, I went to see my mother and my brother 24th, 25th, and then on the 25th, in the early afternoon, I went home. And I spent the 25th, the evening, on my own. Uh, because I wanted so, and I was so much like, I was looking forward to see my family, and I was also looking forward to this part of Christmas, celebrating with me, myself, and I. And this was so nice, and I was all cheerful, and I was nearly dancing all around my apartment. I was like, it was so nice. And since I'm giving space to myself during this period of the year, I start liking it more again.
Okay. So you've reestablished your relationship with Christmas.
Yeah, so I'm taking Christmas, yes, and it's a mixture of, I'm taking Christmas back, and I am modifying it in the way it suits me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, it's. I mean, Christmas is very much subjective, I guess, with regards to each individual family. So they all have different ways of doing it, but also cultures. So, as in Germany, we celebrate here on the 24th.
Yeah. In Italy on the 25th.
Yeah, UK as well.
Yeah.
And families get together. Well, I mean, Italy, but families get together also on the 3 days, don't they?
No, for 24th is la Vigilia di Natale.
Yeah.
But like Christmas is like really 25th. Like that's when the family comes together for lunch mostly.
Okay, all right.
And for dinner.
Yeah. And everything.
And
everything else. Yeah.
And the panettone.
Yeah. Oh man,
So,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember in Parma the Cappelletti and this. Oh, it's fantastic. Anyway, wonderful stuff. But I mean, in the UK, it's like Christmas Eve is in the pub if you're of a certain age. Christmas Day, the 25th, you're with the family.
Yeah.
And on the 26th, which is Boxing Day, you're in front of the TV watching the Premier League football.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, this is
Interesting.
essentially, yeah, absolutely, lots of Santa fans in the crowd and so on. But this is essentially the festivity, and of course, if you have that footballing culture in the family, but yeah, so it's very different. I guess maybe this is also a part of it, that as I was growing older, and then football became more prominent in the family, because before there was no sort of Sky television where you could watch this stuff all the time. Yeah, my word, maybe television changed Christmas. How sad is that? Rupert Murdoch, you took Christmas away. Yeah, let's blame everything we can on the man.
But I really think that, I also believe that Christmas is quite a loaded topic. You know, a sensitive topic, because I mean, I think there are also many people out there who, when they're listening to us, are like, how are they talking about Christmas? You know, like this one is preferring to stay on her own instead of being with the beloved ones, and none of them is going to church, and you know, like, it really depends on the point of view. But for me, the bottom line is, if it comes, And sorry to throw all in one pot now, but all these special days, holidays, special occasions like Christmas, like religious and traditional days, and nah, birthday. I think we should have a chance to celebrate them also, at least slightly, like we want to, like it's good for us. It's the same with New Year.
Oh my word.
Like where it's written that we all have to, I don't know, totally get mad on New Year's. I mean, I had amazing parties on New Year's. I had New Year's in tears. I had New Year's alone. I had New Year's with amazing people. I mean, it's like it's life,
Yeah.
And I actually refuse to be that I have to be in a certain mood on a certain day, like to fulfill these expectations, because if you don't feel like that, well, who says that you need to feel like that?
Well, peer pressure. I mean, it's like, what are you doing on New Year's Eve? Oh no, you can't be on your own, and so on. I completely agree with you. As in, some of my best New Year's Eve sort of experiences have been completely with the family. So no craziness. Everybody wearing jeans, chilling out, eating nice food, wonderful, playing games. With the family. But also, I've enjoyed being on my own, just with a damn good book.
Yeah,
The
I
whole
feel
night,
you.
nobody there, no messages, just
I feel
reading.
You. I remember I had one of the nicest New Year's was during my university times. I had I think it was 2 or 3 different invitations, and I decided to stay home. And I watched 2 old movies like this, all from 1940s, 50s, 60s. So I watched one before midnight. Then at midnight, I opened the windows and looked the firework. And then after that, I watched another movie, and then I went to sleep. And I was all fine and happy and relaxed. And then on the other hand, I had, it's not said that only if you are on your own on such a day that it has to be a disaster. The most disastrous New Year's celebrations did I have when I was with people.
Okay, because your expectations were heightened previously.
Being it that there is a party which has to be great, or being it romantic, only in 2 happening, which ends up in a disaster. Like all this happens, and it's part of life.
Absolutely, yeah. I try as much as possible, and I have done for some time, to completely remove expectation from the entire scenario. And even then, sometimes I'm not completely successful, because you still think that there are some things which are fundamental in a party, like maybe alcohol or good food and so on. And I mean, if you remove alcohol and good food from a party, then there's no point going. But anyway, these things do happen on occasion. But
the only fundamental thing for me on New Year's is to wear something red.
Really?
Yeah, because in Italy it brings. They say it brings luck. Really? It gives you luck. You never heard? I always have a red bracelet or something.
Really?
To wear something.
Heard that at all.
Yeah, I mean, in Italy it's also that, and
Which
it's
part
not
of
only
Italy?
it's not only in Italy. Oh yeah, everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, and I think it's also nowadays becomes a hype also, like this Valentine things. It's that when you go right after Christmas and you go to the shops, you see red lingerie and dessous everywhere.
Okay.
So
I've actually never noticed that.
Yeah, so because it's like the imagination and the expectation of the shops is that men buy this for their ladies.
Because they have to wear red.
Because they have to, So yeah.
So no expectations.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Okay.
no, nothing. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Interesting.
yeah. But
I
this
really
with the
didn't know that.
red is like something I've been told since I was a teenager, and my mom also always made sure that, and even if it was just a band, like like a simple thing she was putting out around my
On your wrist. Yeah.
wrist. So yeah, you should wear something red. That brings good luck. So
Wow.
and she wanted to ensure that her kids have good luck. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. No, I'd never heard. I've often thought about how different cultures have these different things about luck. So, for example, if you can't pick up. If somebody asks me for the salt,
Yeah.
I can't give it to them by hand. I have to put it on the table, and
Oh,
then they
really?
have to pick it up.
I heard that also.
I think it's a
I
Middle
never
Eastern
do
thing.
this. I never do this. But yeah, it's true. Now as you're mentioning it, yeah,
It's
I heard
crazy,
that.
isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember because somebody once asked me, and it was a friend from with Iraqi origins, and she said, "Can you please pass me the salt?" And I was reaching out, and she's just looking at me, and I said, "Okay, well, you're either going to take it
Yeah.
or not." She said, "No, you put it down first," and then she took it.
Wow.
And I apologise for my ignorance, but there you go. I mean, but because the Brits, we don't care. You want salt? Here you go. Throw it at me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's just how it is. But then there's also this so European thing. You can't cross. So if you're
Yeah.
shaking hands, you
No.
can't cross. So
Yes, exactly.
that
This
can't
one I
happen.
know.
Yeah, that can't happen. Yeah, or the other thing, which in Europe is really popular, when you like say cheers, you have
Yeah.
to look into people's eyes
Yes.
because otherwise it's like 7 years bad sex or
Yes,
something. Yeah,
exactly.
which I mean, yeah, for us Brits, a lifetime of bad sex. It's not going to change with the glass. But I mean, yeah, but this never happens. I've never heard of it until I moved
Really?
to live in mainland Europe. So where
Yeah.
does it come from, though? I mean, who had the concept to say you either look into my eyes or you're going to be shit in bed? I mean, what is the what's the correlation? And then to count 7
Yeah,
years.
it's
I mean,
true.
that was some serious research,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
It's
I mean, who comes up with this stuff?
yeah, it's true. I know. I think it's us human beings. We just like to have traditions and rituals. I mean, it's all about rituals, isn't it? And yeah, yeah. But it's true.
Completely random.
And people get really upset if you don't look there.
Yeah.
You have to watch in my eyes. Look me in the eyes.
Yeah, you're risking a lot here.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Can't live with this.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. But when I first sort of went socializing in Italy, and people noticed that I didn't do this,
Yeah.
they were very offended. As in, you're messing around with that. You're playing with fire here.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's serious stuff.
Yeah. My relationship depends on this. Apparently, I don't know. No. Cool. Okay. Well, maybe we should sort of delve into this a bit more, like with regards to sort of traditions and customs and superstitions, because some of them are superstitions too. Like, I mean, the Italians are really superstitious, aren't they? No, like if a black cat walks.
Yeah, and the leather.
The ladder, yeah, that you
under,
can't walk
you shouldn't
under.
under leather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you also have this? You can't take the rubbish out at night.
No.
You've not heard that one?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't heard.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what is nice is I started changing things. Like if this, I know that for example, my mom, when a black cat was crossing, I don't know. I think there's a difference if it's crossing from left to right and from right to left. I really don't know. And then she was starting to spit. She was like doing, there is a cat, a black cat, toot 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 toot. Like to prevent the bad luck. And I mean, for her, this works, and then that's fine. I started at a certain point that I really like cats, and I started one day just like, okay, what if it's the opposite? If I see a black cat, it's good luck. And so now every time I see a black cat crossing, I'm like, yeah, could also be good luck, couldn't it?
So you've changed it around.
Yeah, and I mean, I mean, these are beliefs. They came up once upon a time from other human beings. So, and they were not superior to me, to you, to anybody else. It's But it's interesting how these stories and beliefs continue to live.
You know, considering that these are almost, in some cases, pagan and ritualistic, which is completely, you know, sort of runs against the tide of Christianity, which tried to push these things away. I mean, there are also conflicting ones. So, for example, in the UK, they say it's good luck to see two magpies, which are these black and white birds.
Ah, okay.
Whereas I think in Germany they say it's good luck to see one.
I don't know.
Yeah, so yeah, it's apparently it's bad luck to see two, but good luck to see one. Whereas in the UK, it's the other way around. It's bad luck to see a magpie on its own. It's better to see two.
Ah, okay.
It's very strange. I mean, somebody will probably tell me I'm completely wrong, but this is the legend that I grew up with. So
Okay.
yeah,
There are also this, you should not take a certain number. Like if somebody asks you, do you want some nuts? And then you take three. And then I had also people like, no, no, or like 5 or 7 or 8.5, or I really don't know. I think it's like the ungerade Zahl and gerade Zahl.
even and
The
odd.
uneven.
Yeah, odd
Like
and
you
uneven.
can't take an uneven number of whatever.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Because I don't work with that, so I don't know it. But I know that it happened to me that I was taking something and then people were like, no, no, but then you have to take, if you take two, then you have to take a third one. Or if you take three, you have to take a fourth one. I was like, why? I took two because I wanted two. Or, no, no, because it's bad luck. And then it's like, okay. You know?
There's also a thing about the number of tattoos you can have. Yeah, now I can't remember anymore if I should have 2 tattoos or 3 tattoos, but apparently there's one number, whether it's odd or even, I can't remember now. I think you're supposed to have 2 tattoos because they say that normally it's for sailors were tattooed.
Yeah.
And that means that if they have an even number, it means they made it safely back to port. But I don't
So
know.
for the outgoing and the coming back.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think, but I could be wrong. Then I could be mixing it up a bit.
But that would only count for small tattoos.
I guess so.
And nowadays you have like pieces of art, like covering half of a body, so you wouldn't consider it like.
I don't know who would bother counting that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we are human beings. We need to believe something. And I found it really interesting to think and talk and to reflect upon old beliefs. For example, there was always human beings who wrote these things or who said so. And for me, that counts also for religions. So, but let's not go there.
No, okay. We could under pseudonyms, but yeah, we won't do this today.
No.
Yeah. All right. But we spoke about New Year's resolutions. Because I have so many. Whenever I ask students in January, have you made the New Year's resolution? Some of them say yeah, and they're so happy they can't wait to tell me about it. And others are offended. They say, why? Why? If I want to stop doing something, why wait until New Year's? And they look at me and criticize me and say, why are you propagating this ridiculous, treatise, as it were? Yeah, so where do you stand? Do you make New Year's resolutions?
No, I don't make resolutions.
Why not?
Are you?
No, actually, the biggest one I did is I stopped smoking, but I did that in July. In 2019, okay. It's got nothing to do with New Year's, but I mean, I'm not against them. I'm just not very creative at that time. I think it's a temperature thing. Creativity comes out when the sun is on my back.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
No, what I do at the end of the year is a kind of a review and I started with that because I couldn't hear it anymore when people said like, thank God this year is gone, is past, next year would be better. And my hypothesis is that we always keep the negative things more in mind than the positive things. Yeah, so I had a few very difficult situations last year. But I really refuse to say that 2021 was a shitty year. So what I did for last year and what I did for other years as well is to sit down and then to walk through the year like to do my own reflection. It takes like maybe 1, 2, 3 days, depends on how much time you have, and to pick out the things which I'm thankful for, and that gives a whole different, it puts a whole different light on the past year. I'm not propagating to not see the negative things and the challenging things, but I really like to stress that we should see both, and so that's what I try. For me, that's healthy. For me, that's good. That's what I discovered, and so that is what I do. And an interesting thing is when you reflect upon the last year, the current year, at the end of the year, and you become aware of what you are thankful for, then it gives you automatically an idea, like ideas evolve, like that'll be great to carry it on in the next year. Like the thought behind it is that was great, I would like to continue this. It has nothing to do with this 1 year is over and the next year is coming. It's a simple, like, I would like to continue. And then it's something you take into the next year. Like, okay, very simple. It's not a secret dancing. So
Well,
I was I was
dance?
thinking, yeah. so I was reflecting upon, I had an amazing time last year in summer, dancing with incredible people, get to know new people. It was beautiful, and also in autumn, and so there's no question. I will continue dancing in 2022. So, but that is for me not a resolution. It's like something. It's not, because a resolution is something I want to do. But
Or
I'm
to stop doing.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to continue dancing. So there is no question.
But it's also a natural continuation of...
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that's why, and I
Okay.
think this natural continuations, this is like a realistic thing, a good foundation to continue.
Do you keep a diary, out of curiosity?
No, I don't keep a diary, but I have a old school paper calendar, and I write. I make notes.
Okay.
Quite. It's not only like 3 lines per day, but
Detailed notes.
detailed notes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
So, and that is actually this calendar. This is the one I'm sitting with, and a hot cappuccino or hot chocolate, and then I go through it.
Okay.
And reflect upon what I did. Yes.
I mean, that's a great discipline. I mean, I have this only for work-related things. I should actually do a diary in the way that you do them too. And I think this is like a habit that people have sort of come out of, because it's also wonderful to be able to recollect far more as vividly events of the past, and you can only do this if you record those in your own words. I listened. I have the audiobook of Michelle Obama, and I listened to her Becoming book, and where she reads it herself, and the detail with which she recalls specific events in her life and feelings in those times can only be because she recorded them somehow. Now, for me, I've missed already so many things that I will not be able to elaborate upon. But what you say then, it strikes me as pretty important, is to record your successes and the things that you have done, which you might not necessarily remember. And it's also good for professional practice. So when you speak with a boss, so what did you achieve last year? To remind the boss, I did this, because sometimes it's easy to forget those achievements. And then, and if you don't tell your boss you've done this great thing, some other git might take that, claim responsibility for it, and you could miss out on a promotion too. So, as in, there are many benefits to taking such notes.
Yeah, it's true. And I actually do this also when I have like a yearly talk to your boss, to my you prepare yourself. So when I had a team, I was also expecting my colleagues to prepare themselves, and so when I have a talk with my boss, I also do that. Yes, and it's not only about that some other person gets the credit. It's like that it simply gets forgotten because your boss is also a human being and can simply forget about things. And so, for me, it's always an aha a situation. Like, look at that. I mean, it doesn't matter if I do my own private retrospective process of 2021, for example, or if I do it work wise. It's like, look at this. Yeah, I forgot about that. I did that, and if it's something nice, it gives you the joy, it brings back the joy you had, you know. But actually, when I do my calendar thing, I also know things which were not so nice.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I make a flash.
Okay.
Like this.
Okay, like that's a kind of sign, is it?
Yeah,
Well,
that. Yes,
oh, okay.
so I
Yeah,
know.
yeah. She says when she says flash, she doesn't mean flash, flash. She means like a lightning
an
flash.
arrow,
Yeah.
Error, no?
Yeah. There's lightning flash.
Lightning
Yeah,
flash.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
like watch out. Look at this. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So that there was a particular difficult situation also, and then this is what there is this saying also, like sometimes you go through hard times and then only afterwards you know what they've been good for. And this happens so often to me when I walk through my calendar. It's like, yeah, that was a particular shitty situation and I really didn't want that situation. And then when you look with the distance of a month or half a year or so, it's like you know what evolved later and you stand at a different point. Then you're like, yeah, that was shitty, but and that is interesting.
Does this process also help you to sort of extract yourself from the moment when there is when the pressure's on? So because you, I guess if you've experienced enough of these difficult moments, when you have another difficult moment, you know that in 6 months this will be gone. This will be simply a page in my diary. So don't overreact now. Deal with it, and then make your notes and go on.
The first half, yes. The second half would be great, but mostly not. Like meaning that I more and more when I'm in a hard situation or in a difficult situation or a challenging situation, I know like, okay, you have been through many different other situations, and you know that it only because it's shitty now it doesn't mean that all which comes out of it has to be shitty. Exactly. And that would be great, but it's not always the case because when you are in a challenging situation, you are like all in there and it's hard to get yourself like out there. So the only thing, but it's still a thing, is to know like, okay, I have to go through it. It's really shitty and dark now, but I know there can also come a different perspective later on. So
there is light at the end of the tunnel style scenario.
For example,
I guess these expressions exist for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, can't imagine who came up with that. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling though that there's the benefit of experience for both of us. I mean, I have a feeling we've lived 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
There's a lot to come out. I guess we should just let the topics as they sort of roll out individually to inspire us. But you also mentioned you're very much a natural person. It seems to me you're in tune with nature as well. And the seasons were a topic that you wanted to talk about. I mean, maybe we don't have to throw in all the seasons. Maybe we can just start with winter now, and we'll leave spring for later on. But I mean, what feeling do you get from winter? I mean, you're really wrapped up, but
yeah, like when you suggested to talk about this end of the year stuff, and so I was like, yeah, we can talk about winter, about the season, the winter season, because I'm all a sun lover. Like I think I mentioned before, like 30 degrees Celsius, that's when I am, like full. So everything else is cold. And so when I was younger, I really didn't like winter. it's dark, it's rainy, it's shitty, it's cold, it's freezing, and I'm always freezing, and I simply didn't like it. And I escaped. There were so many years in my life where I escaped, because I always used to say, and still do say, I keep the sun in my heart. I managed to keep it until the beginning of January. Like October, I'm still all euphoria of summer, and then November. No, I'm not a person who gets a November blues, because I'm all then excited about the pre-Christmas phase with all the glitter and the nice stuff to eat, and like, and then you have Christmas and you have your New Year, and then in January, it really, there is like mid-January and January, it makes bam, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm just like, it's all winter, it's never gonna be light again, it's never gonna be sunny, I want sun, and so then I always used to escape. So the most travels I did were then in January, February, where I escaped to some places with a lot of sun and beach and everything.
You're going to Italy in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, but that is yeah. I didn't mean Italy, because
okay,
there's like, yeah. But I mean, still, I mean, it's so amazing what a bit of sunlight does, and nowadays, actually, even if it's, I've been to Munich the last weekend, and went for a walk. I think it was -5 degrees, and I was sitting there with a hot chocolate, and the sun was out, and I was really feeling a little bit like in Italy. And even the 15 minute you can sit there enjoying the sun, then the cold is not so difficult to bear. But if all it's gray and rainy and foggy and shitty, I'm sorry, I'm apologizing. I think I use shitty a little bit too often if it comes to winter.
I'll put it in the title.
They're
The shitty talk.
So and I mean, I know there are many people who love winter and snowboarding and all this stuff. That's great. I'm me not. I'm more the fireplace and sauna person. So what I hated before, or what was very difficult to bear for me years ago, is becoming easier and easier, because I can really see also the positive sides of winter, because it's the time of introspection.
Yeah.
Introspection. My English is amazing. Introspection. And
but there's an Italian word which is similar, isn't it? There must be something, because intro and
then you put just like introspection. Yeah,
exactly,
something like this.
It's
I do this often, like
it's
to
good.
just also vice versa. Also, when I talk Italian, it's like take a German or an English root and then just build something around. Anyway, yeah, nowadays I really like, it's not about liking, it's about appreciating winter. It's still a season which is a bit harder for me, but it's also that I understood the importance of the different seasons, and I feel them much stronger, and I don't want to skip them anymore, not as much as I wanted like 20 years back. And and I know, and maybe this comes also with a certain age, I know more what's good for me. So, and for example, I'm in winter, I try to shift the most possible to do during the hours of daylight, because I know, like 6 o'clock, and it's dark outside and it's cold and everything, it's so hard to get me out of my cozy
cocoon.
Yes, exactly. It's just cocooning time. Yeah. And of course I go out and everything, but it's a whole different story than in summer. In summer I'm out like 5, 6, 7 times a week, meeting friends, doing different things. And in winter, it's all a bit. It's slowed down. It's and it's nice. It's like I said before. It's a time of breathing out. Of like relaxing. I can't have enough. You can't have enough candlelight and hot chocolate and incenses and I don't know, relaxing meditation music or whatever, and it's nice, it's the time for it. And then when spring comes, then it's also good. And then also different kinds of food, and yeah. So
I love soup in the winter.
I love soup.
Yeah,
I'm all a soup person. Yeah, me too. Me too.
But I can't have soup in the summer. Is that just me, or is that normal?
I'm with you. Like seldom. Yeah. No, it's just that like in winter, I think I have every second day of like soup in my mind. You should have a soup. Sweet potato, carrot, or how do you say kürbis?
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin, yeah, pumpkin or minestrone, but like a good thick one, lentil soup or whatever. And in summer, this is not coming into my mind. There are like different things coming into my mind. I'd rather, I don't know, fish or stuff like this. Yeah. So,
barbecue.
Ice cream.
Naturally.
Ice cream.
Very Italian.
Yeah, sweet,
Very
thick
Italian.
ice cream.
God, I tell you, the cioccolato fondente. I
Yes.
remember, and this was just crazy. That's
Yes.
lunch. I mean, that's not even ice cream.
No,
Normally, we'd say that after lunch you can have an ice cream.
Yeah.
No, this
No.
stuff is lunch. It's
No.
also partially dinner too.
Yes. This. Did you ever have a brioche with ice cream?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I call this a sweet hamburger, a sweet burger. So for everybody who doesn't know, a brioche is this.
It's like a pastry.
It's a Milchbrötchen, like it's a bun, a sweet
pastry,
bun,
yeah.
a pastry, a sweet bun, and they cut it, and then they put 2 or 3 different kinds of ice cream in it, whatever you choose, and then they make it like a burger. And it's true for me. This is in summer. I can have this as dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I think this year in summer I did that. I went to the beach, and on the way back to get ready for the evening, I passed with my favorite ice cream thing, and I needed this brioche with gelato, and I made a picture of it. And I posted it in my status. I was like, and I was like playing around, fooling around with words. But like, if you don't know what this is, you are no Italian. People kept writing, "What is this?
Yeah.
Why are you eating there?"
Yeah.
It's like,
sorry for admitting we're not Italian.
yeah.
No. Okay.
So yeah.
But this is, I mean, I remember in Parma that people used to go and eat this ice cream in winter too.
Yeah.
As in, because if you love ice cream, you just love ice cream. It's got nothing to do with seasons sometimes, is it? Yeah.
No, but if I really go now in February or March down to Italy, of course. I mean, even if it's
Only 15 degrees.
My friends are taking this shit out of me all the time because they say like, Tanja, if in Germany it's 10 degrees, you're complaining about that it's so fucking cold. And if you are in Italy and it's 10 degrees, it's all a different story, isn't it? And I'm like, yes.
And why?
It is.
Because of the sunshine?
I
or
don't
something?
know why. It's like a head thing. I mean, I know, but yes. And here, 10 degrees, no ice cream. No, simply no. In Italy, yeah, I could imagine. Maybe it will happen. I tell you then. Yes.
Maybe it's to do with the ice cream. I don't know. But.
Yeah, that for sure. I mean, it's a bit different. Yeah, and you have gusti. You have tastes in Italy.
Or flavors in this
Flavors which you can't find. Fior di latte. You can't find fior di latte outside of Italy.
No, I'm not familiar with it anywhere else actually. Yeah.
So, and it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have to eat it when I'm there.
No, of course. I always love yogurt. I don't know why. Yogurt ice cream.
That's also good.
It's not bad.
Fondente and fior di latte.
Yeah,
That's
it goes
what I
together.
like.
But that's an explosion, isn't
That's
it?
amazing.
Okay,
That's
all right.
Sugar.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think. No. All right, okay. Okay. Let's talk about 2022. So here we are now.
Yes.
Yeah. But let's kind of complete the circle, yeah, and bring it back a bit to Sensual Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to do so many things, as we heard earlier. What is the plan for Sensual Talk in 2022? Obviously, we know we can't say too much. We don't know what's going to happen with the pandemic. But what would, at this stage, really satisfy you to have achieved when we come back and have the same chat next January?
In a year of now, I'd like to have the Sensual Talk on a regular basis. I like to have it have it in different cities. Berlin, maybe my hometown, and I would also add a third city wherever in
Or
Germany.
an international virtual Sensual Talk.
That is for the aims I had already 2 years ago. I mean,
okay.
I had already the plan for 2 years ago to have the Sensual Talk on tour in my hometown and in Berlin. Didn't happen. It didn't happen in last year. So let's see if it happens this year. So as I said before, I have many ideas, but the point is I don't want to push it unnaturally. I want it to grow organically. So, for example, the interview thing last summer, that wasn't planned. And I couldn't have planned for it. It was amazing, you know. So I'm open for things to come, but I also feel the strength, the inspiration. Yes, right, and the will to push it even further. But I don't have a plan. I don't have an ops plan, an operational plan to stick with. No.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to attend one of these Sensual Talks in Berlin. So I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that this you can realize.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully.
Okay. I mean, chances are because I have to come to Berlin, or I'm going to come to Berlin on a regular basis anyway this year, and let's hope for summer, spring or summer, and summer, and should be possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Tanja, that would be great. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. As in from my perspective, I'm going to keep on doing these podcasts, and I love the fact that you come back. Hopefully, we'll be able to do it on a monthly basis too, because you've always got so many wonderful things to talk about. And also today we wanted to talk about Ayurveda, but we didn't get into it. So next time, I'm very hopeful that you'll be able to tell me about it, because I have no idea, so I need to do some research in it.
Okay, yeah, we can do if there's not something else immensely important and popping up. So
there's always something
to talk
like
about.
There is absolutely. And all that remains for me to say is thank you very much, because as you said, you braved the Berlin winter to come out to. Okay, you came. And it's brilliant to see you.
It was
it's just, I suppose the next escalation will be to have a short video clip, because people need to be able to see you talk, because you are so animated.
I wanted to say that what the people don't see is that I'm nearly about hitting you.
Yeah, absolutely. I am so, you cannot, guys, I am so bruised.
I had a teacher who told me in elementary school, was like, if I hold your hands, Tanja, you are not able to talk anymore. I was like, no, that's not true, but I think he was right.
No, but I mean, they say this about Italians generally, but I mean, okay, can't complain really. It's such an animated, it's a lively culture, isn't it? So
yeah. Yeah, but then again, yes, I am half Italian, but I didn't grow up there, and so. But there's
It's the power within you, isn't it? It's that aura. It's
I think it's the energy. It's like it has to come out. So now you also understand, because sometimes I'm like this in front of the mic, and if you hear the banging, then it's my
absolutely. I'm
hand
thinking,
on the
God,
desk.
how am I going to edit that out? What was the word you said before for the editing? Was it what was that?
Schnibbeln.
Schnibbeln. Yeah.
Schnibbeln.
Yeah. How am I going to schnibble that out? Okay. Yeah, indeed. Well, that's a challenge that I'm going to have to face.
Yeah.
But, anyway, thank you very much.
Thanks again for having me. It was great that it worked out, that we are sitting together, and that we had our first podcast in this year. And I would really love to continue as well. Cool.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zach.